Hey guys, it's Dani. Alrighty, today we have quite a fun subject because it has to do with Cattleyas, which are currently my favorite genus of orchids. They're just so easy to grow in my climate, I don't have headaches with them. Yes, I like them. Plus, I like the flowers and fragrances. And lately you guys have really liked this particular one in my collection. And I'm not even sure you are going to recognize it. So let me show you a clip because this is a second blooming for me. As you can see here, what I'm showing you looks like a totally different orchid, doesn't it? It's not, it's the same one. But like the title of this video suggests, today we're gonna talk about color changers. Yes, one of my favorite orchids, the color changing orchids. Cattleyas in general do that. So as promised, I do have an ID for this one. I just need to read it because she doesn't really have a name of her own. This appears to be the Sophrolalio Cattleya Hsin Buu Lady WT Beauty crossed with Lea sincorana. Now that's a mouthful, but this is how she appears on the Hsin Orchids website, which is a well-known nursery here in Europe. I think it's from Netherlands, but let me show you something really fun. I'm well aware that this orchid appears super red on camera. And she kinda is, not this vivid. It's one of those orchids that has issues with cameras. Reds and very deep purples have issues transferring or translating to the camera. And the camera tries to compensate for something, and it turns out this bright red. The Nelly Eiler, the red one, appears this way as well, but is not. In reality, it is a very dark purple burgundy. It is on the red side, yes, but it is just such a deep burgundy red. I absolutely adore it. It looks nothing like it bloomed last summer. And no, I don't apply color filters to my videos. Whatever the camera picks up, the camera picks up. I don't have any settings that improve coloration and so on. And let me just show you how it appears next to the picture on the Hsin website. There we go. Do you see this? This is what I knew this orchid looked like. But look at it today. So definitely the camera can pick up this type of purple, but what you see right now is definitely not purple. It is burgundy with a hint of purple. So what do you know? This orchid can bloom in multiple ways. Why does this happen? Well, actually there are some Cattleyas which can perform color changes throughout the flower's life, and not only throughout the orchid's life and throughout the seasons. We'll get to that. First, let's talk about this beauty. Now, first of all, I took a look at the parents, and one of them, what do you know, is red. And this is the Buu Lady. The Lea sincorana is the one that gives the purple. Therefore, it's not surprising that the hybrid has a combination of the two colors and can even display one of them more, depending on its, I don't know, mood. Inside, we can see that the lip has a beautiful golden yellow color. Again, this color was a little faded this summer. The yellow was more of a white, so the yellow is affected as well. But the original parent, the Buu Lady, has a really nice yellow throat just like this one. The flowers are not super big and fluffy, but they are considerable. We cannot say this is a small flowered Cattleya. I would say it's a medium flowered Cattleya. Definitely stands out when you see it on the very green background. And speaking about the plant, she's a bifoliate Cattleya, a medium-sized, let's say bifoliate Cattleya, that has a light green color as a default. There are orchids, Cattleyas, with darker green colorations. This is not one of them. Also, I did not see this one get that hint of red, which is surprising because the flowers are kind of red. But under bright light, this one doesn't go very red. Last year, if I remember correctly, it produced 2 flowers for me, or 3. This year we have 3 again, but I can see the flowers are bigger this time. They have a better shape and they're colored a lot better, a lot more saturated. However, the pseudobulb that bloomed was produced in winter time and it's kind of tiny, which is okay. It doesn't mean the orchid is actually sick, and I do have a video about winter growths. I'll share it with you down below so you learned more. With Cattleyas or warm growing plants, if the environment is cooler than in summertime, then you will get smaller growths with some of them. I do experience it, but the growths are perfectly fine. It doesn't mean the orchid is sick in any way. And this is a little bit of a proof to that. If the orchid would have been suffering or lacking something, I wouldn't have had this beautiful display. Pretty much the orchid did have energy, particularly stored in the older growths, but it was not consumed on the new growth. It was consumed on the flowers. So smaller growths during winter time, particularly with worm growers that have continuous growth, is absolutely normal. The cooler and more affected your environment is, the more the growth will show it as well. But that's okay. I've kind of delayed the best thing about this orchid. Well, the best thing is overall the entire orchid, the color and the shape and the beauty. But what about the fragrance? We're dealing with a Cattleya. Most Cattleyas are fragrant. Yes, this orchid is fragrant. And I dare say it has a very similar, if not a little better, I'll find out soon, but I think I like the fragrance of this one a little more than Princess Jackie. If not, Jackie has the same fragrance. I will say though that this fragrance is milder than the one Jackie has. I keep referencing Jackie, but that's my favorite Cattleya orchid and it's an OID. I don't know what it is. So we call her Jackie. But the fragrance of this one is a really nice citrusy, citronella, sweet, an underlayer of sweetness to it. The most beautiful thing you've ever smelled. Well, in my opinion, of course, definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth risking 10 euros, 15 euros if you ever find this orchid for sale. I believe it's totally worth it. As I was saying, the fragrance is not very strong on this one, so my whole greenhouse doesn't really smell like this one. It's just when I am in the vicinity of this orchid, which can be a good thing for those of you who have an issue with strong fragrances. I believe this one will not give you headaches if you stand in the room with it. If you want to sniff it, you can go ahead and sniff it and you can smell that beautiful aroma. But if you don't want it in the air, that's great because it will not sit in the air. Unlike the orchid we talked about yesterday. So overall, my little Buu Lady hybrid, I don't even know what to call this one. Let's just call her the sincorana hybrid, right? So overall, this orchid is such a 10++. I'm so in love with it, and the fact that she is a color changer, you know, just makes it better. Now, let's discuss a little bit about the color changing orchids. I do have a few, and one that is very similar to this one, which we will talk about. I was expecting this orchid to change color. She has been in bloom for a week, and when the buds first opened, this is the latest flower, it did look like this. It had this dark burgundy red color. And I thought, well, okay, in about a week or so, it's gonna go to the purple, everything will be just like it was. No. There is no purple in this orchid, she remained burgundy. Color-changing orchids can be of two kinds. First one is the one that blooms in a certain color and then as it ages, it goes into a different color. Most Cattleyas do this, and generally they go from a more darker color to a paler color. There are orchids such as the BC Maikai, which opens as a very rich lavender purple, and then as the flower ages, it transforms even into almost white, very pale purple. The BC Maikai is again a Cattleya hybrid, and as I was saying, Cattleya hybrids are prone to do this. There is another color changer, one of my favorites again, the Raychara Francis Fox. When the blooms first open, they have a beautiful purpleness to them, which in time disappears, but the flowers don't get pale, they get more orange, more rusty. So there we can talk about a transition to a totally different color, not losing the pigment itself and becoming pale. It's still a color changer, and there are a lot of them. The Vanagara apple blossom does the same thing. When it first opens, it's very purple, and then as it ages, goes into this light purple yellow actually color, which is again very nice, and it's always beautiful to see this transition. So that's one of the color changing abilities of orchids, and mostly Cattleyas can do this, but not only, there are other orchids as well. And then there is the second type of color change, which this one belongs to, the change in accordance to season. Now I do have a very staple Cattleya which does this, and this is the Lea Hawaiian Splash Lea. That Cattleya, when it first bloomed for me, it was purple, and the splashes of yellow were almost white and almost inexistent. That was a bloomed form in warmer months, in summertime, and then I had the orchid bloom in a cooler month. And behold, the orchid was not purple anymore, it was kind of red, a red purple, and the splashes of yellow were rich and goldeny and really nice. So that one, the Hawaiian Splash Lea, for me, every time it blooms in a warmer month, it's a little bit more purple, and when it blooms in the winter time, it's a lot redder. This year I had it in bloom in November, I think, or December, and it was super red. It appeared on camera like it was red-orange, and it happens every time. She's not a seasonal bloomer, she can bloom whenever she wants, so she did bloom in quite a few instances throughout the year, and I've observed the same behavior. With that one though, as the flower ages, it does go into a more paler purple. So with that one, we have both of these color changing abilities. With the sincorana hybrid, I am not entirely sure what we're dealing with. We are certainly having a color change due to environment. It has been really cool, notice the small pseudobulb, it has been really cool while these buds have formed. And I do believe it influenced the color. Last summer when it bloomed, it was very purple, no hint of this nice red burgundy. The fragrance is not affected though, so that's good. By the end of the flowering, I'm not sure if it's gonna go into the purple, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So far, after almost 2 weeks, I don't see much purpleness. There is a hint, but not a whole lot. So that's absolutely amazing. I love color changing orchids and orchids which bloom differently depending on the season. It just so happens most of them are Cattleyas, but let us know down below if you have a color changing orchid which is not a Cattleya. That would be very interesting to find out as well. I remember a long time ago when I was researching this color changing effect due to temperature, I did find an article that was referring specifically to red Cattleyas and how the color can change depending on temperature, specifically how lower temperatures influence redder orchids. I'll try to find it again because yes, I didn't save it. In case I don't find it, just ignore this, but if I do, I'll link it down below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you found it interesting. I love this orchid. It's up there with the Princess Jackie because of the fragrance and all of these features, and if you ever see it for sale, I would definitely recommend it. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching, and you know the drill. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!